Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we're gonna actually start to learn how to swing the golf club. So assuming you've got everything that I've talked about in previous videos down somewhat or have a good understanding of it, I usually like to break the swing down into parts, especially for beginners, since if I were to teach them the full swing right off the bat, there's just a lot of moving parts and it's just harder for people to learn. So what I found is breaking it up into 3 different segments makes the beginner progress a little bit faster. So today we're going to start by talking about the first step. So making little small swings to start, and I'll kind of go over what things to look for just to get things started with the swing. So for step 1, the swing usually only goes from waist high in the backswing to waist high in the fall through. So I'm going to be demonstrating it here. A couple swings from the front view and a couple swings from the side view, just so you can see what the step 1 would look like. So now with this first step, there's about 4 things that I want to make sure that everyone does, or what every beginner should be doing at this stage. So 1 is you got to make sure that the club face is square, okay, as you take the club back to start. The second is to make sure that you keep the arms straight. There's no breaking down, there's no kind of bending of the arms at any point at this stage. The third is that we have to learn to shift our weight to our left side as we come in to strike the golf ball. And the last step is that while we're doing all these things, we want to ensure that the head does not move too much, if at all, okay? So we're gonna be going over, I'll be kind of demonstrating and explaining all those things at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna explain the side view first, okay? So when I'm standing there, you know how to get in your posture, right? Slight bend in the knees, bend from the waist, making sure the arms are hanging straight down. And you also have a good understanding of how to rotate your body around your spine. So now when I'm demonstrating it the correct way here, my hands, you'll notice that my hands will move around me a little bit, and that is completely normal. You want that to happen just because in a golf swing, you're gonna be moving your hands around you, right? You never wanna move your hands straight back, okay? So that's also a very, very common thing that a lot of beginners do, is that they assume that their hands have to go straight back and straight through in the swing. But you have to make sure that it goes around you, okay? So this is what it looks like when it's incorrect, and this is what it looks like when it's correct. You can see the difference of the hands going away from you or straight back versus it moving slightly around you as you start your backswing, okay? So the other demonstration here is just where the club face is pointed. So that was the first thing that we talked about, is we want to make sure that the club face is square. Okay, so when I'm rehearsing it here, you'll see that the club face, the angle of the club face is just a little bit pointing down towards the ball. So this is what most people tend to do, is that they kind of have the club rolled open. So where that club face is now kind of pointed more to the side or even up towards the sky. Whereas the correct way was the angle of the club was maybe just slightly down, okay? So now the reason why you want that to happen is because the more you open or close the face, the more you have to get your hands involved. And in the golf swing, we want to try and eliminate as much unnecessary movement as possible. So overall, from the side view, the main points to take away from this is that the club face has to be pointing a little bit down. We don't want the club face to kind of be open where the club is pointing to the side or even up to the sky, okay? The second main point is that we want the hands to be moving around you and never straight back, okay? So as long as you're doing that, then you're off to a great start. Okay, so from the front view, this is a better visual for you guys in order to see how straight my arms are, how I'm rotating my body, how I'm shifting my weight into impact, and then also how still I'm keeping my head throughout this movement, okay? So the first thing that I'll kind of show you guys or kind of explain is just how straight my arms are at this point. So when I'm bringing the club back to about waist high, my arms just stay locked out up to this point. there's also very little movement in my wrists, okay? So everything is moving together as one. There's nothing moving separate from each other, okay? So now, when I'm bringing it down from parallel to the ground into impact, you'll notice that my weight is shifting to my left side as I'm bringing the club down, okay? So that's what you want to feel, is by the time you get the club up to about waist high in the backswing, on the way down, at the same time the club's head is moving down to the ball, your weight will move to your left side, okay? So what you should feel or try to think about is, by the time you hit the ball, most of your weight is on your left side, okay? And then when you swing through it, my arms continue to stay straight, okay? My weight stays on my left side, and I just finish to waist high. So from the front, I just want to kind of explain it as I'm doing it. So we know that from prior videos, the ball position is slightly left of center, right? Stance is shoulder width apart, grip in a neutral position, okay? So now, when I'm taking the club back just to waist high, I want the arms to be straight, right? There's no breakdown in the wrist or any part of the arms up to this point, okay? So when we properly rotate, right, up to waist high, this is what it should look like, okay? Front to there. Okay, everything is moving at the same time, right? So if I take a shot, like just a little tiny little chip shot, that's kind of what you would want to start off with, or what the overall kind of movement would look like. The last thing to kind of go over from the front is, when I bring the club to parallel, right, I talked about from here up into impact, that you want to feel like your weight goes to your left side. Okay, so you don't want to just kind of swing the arms through like this and not move your body at all, okay? What you want to do, okay, what you can practice as well is, when you get up to about waist high, arms are straight, you can practice moving your weight and the club into the ball basically at the same time, okay? The common mistake is that while they do this, the head tends to move with it. So you want to make sure that there's very minimal movement in any other parts of the body. So from here, just practice it a few times, right? Bringing the club to parallel, weight and club moving at the same time, while the head is still. Okay, so again, okay, so it should overall kind of look like this. So from the front view, the main points were: 1, you have to keep your arms straight, okay? 2, you gotta make sure that when your club is at parallel with the ground, or about waist high as you take it back, your weight and club head have to move at the same time coming into impact. So by the time you hit, most of your weight should be on your left side, okay? And then 3 is that while you're moving your weight to your left side, your head must stay relatively in the same spot, okay? And then on the way through, obviously just keep your arms straight. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a really good idea on how to start the swing off. And this might take a little while, just because, and you might not hit it far at first, just because you're just learning a very small swing to start. But practice regularly, and eventually you'll get it. And so the next episode I'm going to make is just step 2, and we'll just gradually make the swing bigger and bigger until eventually you have the full swing. And if you enjoyed the video, just remember to like and subscribe, and other than that, I will see you on the next one.